Now, 24 hours before the National Delegates Congress of the ruling NDC in Kumasi, the town is awash with colorful presence of happy and yet anxious delegates and supporters of the party. Tomorrow, they will have the responsibility of choosing the men and women, I beg your pardon, who will make the difference for the NDC in its battle to retain power. Are there any surprises in the run-up to the Congress? What's the security arrangement on the ground and who is saying what? Tonight, the NDC's Congress is our big story, and my name is Stephen Enti. In the next 24 hours, delegates of the ruling National Democratic Congress will be making the important decisions of choosing who to lead the party in the 2016 election. Now, what they're doing is to decide to elect new or retain old executives who will now work towards ensuring that the party retains power. So what exactly is happening in Kumasi right now? We would like to know. Earlier in the day, our reporter Emmanuel Ante spoke to Alhaji Abdullahi Farkan, who is contesting for the position of General Secretary against Johnson Esiedun-Ketia, aka General Mosquito. Let's hear Abdullahi Farkan.
It's a down deal for Ishaq Abdullah Farkan. It's a down deal, 60% or more.
Wow. You're contesting Esiedun-Ketia, who's been in the helm of affairs for the past two elections. You think you have the strength and the willpower to oust him out of office?
Oh, yeah, Master. Even I know all of you were surprised for somebody like Farkan from nowhere just coming into the scene. People were saying, hey, can this be joking or what? But I've proved people wrong. If you go to a point, even when I went through vetting, people were saying I didn't file. So I was just laughing. People don't know what they are saying. Farkan is that type. I'm telling you, my brother, I've gone around almost all the 10 regions where response are very, very positive. Master, the grassroots are tired of the party. They are tired of the current executives. They need a change.
So you believe that you're going to overtake Esiedun-Ketia?
Oh, yes, inshallah. I believe in this one God. Inshallah, come tomorrow you call me and congratulate me. Inshallah, yes, please.
All right, so you are sure of victory?
Yes, victory come tomorrow. Ishaq Abdullah will be the new General Secretary for NDC.
Well, you heard it from the one and only man who is contesting the General Mosquito himself, Esiedun-Ketia.
I'm spraying Musoso Mosquito tomorrow, Sasso. God willingly. We are bringing Sasso to, but we'll not kill him dead. We'll not spray him dead. We'll just...
Well, Alaji says that he's bringing Sasso to the field to spray General Mosquito. He won't kill him. He'll just push him aside. Let's get onto the telephone lines now and speak to our reporter, Emmanuel Ante, to gauge if anything has changed since his interview. Emmanuel, good evening.
Good evening, Steve.
So, I know that you've had a very busy day. Tell me, your interview with Alhaji Farkan, what were some of the very interesting bites that you recall that he spoke to you about?
Well, like you just heard from the bites that you just played, him saying that he was going to use subtle spray to kill the mosquito, the General Mosquito. That was an interesting bite. And he was also saying that everybody says they don't know him. But nobody knew Obama when he was becoming a president or when he was contesting for the presidency. And yet he became the president of the U.S. The same way he's also going to come and surprise everyone, shock everyone, and everybody will be surprised that he will make as victorious as the General Secretary of the party.
Right.
That was one of the issues that was interesting to me.
Right. Now, Emmanuel, we heard, I'm not sure, we don't have that confirmation, but I heard that Alhaji was considering stepping down to allow Johnson Esiedun-Ketia to go unopposed. Is this something you can confirm to us?
Steve, I can't confirm it. What I can confirm is that when I spoke to him, he did not give me any sign or any indication whatsoever that he's withdrawing. I continue, if the interview had gone on a bit, or the soundbite you have played had gone on a bit, you will realize that he was even vehemently trying to deny the fact that he's not qualified for it. He said he's qualified for it, and he is going to contest Atebikutia, and he is going to win. That's what the indication he gave me. So there is no confirmation from me or from any member of my team.
As far as you know.
Whether he, as whether he's withdrawing or not.
Right. I also know that you spoke to quite a lot of other people weighing or gauging their chances in tomorrow's elections. What can you tell us about some of the people you've been speaking to?
Well, I spoke to Dan Abudapi's junior brother, who was confident his brother was going to take the slot. He says that people think he's not working. People are just thinking that it is only Dr. Kobreje and Potofi who are contesting, but they have forgotten that people are working and are working underground. One of his guys also told me that he is using the Atamilson's style. He's going door to door, underground, and he's speaking to the right people that he thinks are the ones that are going to put him in power. That's the delegate. So he is working underground. That's him. He was the one I spoke to, Dana Podafi's brother. He talked about Dana Godafi. And then Kofi Potofi, another young guy who also told me, who talked to me, also said that Kofi Potofi is the grassroots man. And so it seems that that thing, even Dana Godafi's brother attested to the fact that they know Kofi Potofi and he's a good man, and that he's a grassroots person, but his brother is going to and so it seems that Kofi Potofi is also gaining grounds in the grassroots level or at grassroots level.
I see. Now, I know that the position for Johnson Esiedun Ketia's position of General Secretary and that of the National Chairman are the hotly contested ones. I know that for example, Hudu Yahaya and Dana Bodakwi are all contesting for National Chairman. In Kumasi right now, what's the mood among the various factions of these, or let's say I should call it supporters of the various people who are contesting for the key position of National Chairman and General Secretary?
Well, Steve, I can tell you that the Kumasi, the stadium especially, to be precise, has started charging. It's charging up. The supporters have started trooping in. Earlier on when we got there, we were given the information that earlier on in the day, some section of the media were reporting of some tension and some things that are not going on well there. But the confirmation came afterwards, after they came to the stadium themselves to observe things, whether it was going right or not, and everything was calm. But it's just that the place is charging up, and people are coming in and drumming and dancing. And there are songs composed that I guess after the show we'll see who will win or who make the chart.
Right. So now quickly, we also heard there were concerns about accreditation for journalists. Has that problem been resolved?
Well, as we speak now, we are still trying to resolve it. We are still trying to make arrangements to make sure we all get accreditation. But as we speak, it's still not resolved yet. Some people have had theirs. A few members of the press have had theirs, but most of us, the majority of us, have not had ours. And it seems like it's going to be like what happened in Tamale, where we had to queue and struggle for accreditation on the morning of the program itself, of the election. So that's what we are facing now. Accreditation is a problem, Steve.
Right. Emmanuel Ante, we'll leave you there, and thanks very much for that update. Emmanuel Ante is one of the members of our team, which is in Kumasi and bringing us responses there. Now, still on the ground, our producer, Ni Kote Jani, spoke to some of the contestants in Kumasi. He first spoke to Koku Anyidoho, who is standing for the General Secretary position. We're trying to get Koku Anyidoho's interview for you now.
We have Kofi Anyidoho, Koku Anyidoho, right with us, and we want to find out from him. I mean, what does it make about the euphoria in Kumasi, and why did they choose Kumasi for in the first place?
Well, Kumasi, I think the facility here is a bit tight. Not that we don't have other facilities elsewhere, but the choice was Kumasi, and so we all accept it.
Some are saying you just chose Kumasi because you want to poke your fingers into the hand of the MPP, knowing that this is their stronghold? What's your reaction to that?
Oh, well, speculations are rife. Let people conjecture, let people say things they want to say. But the important thing is that the National Executive Committee has decided on Kumasi, and the party has accepted it.
All right. So tell me, all these things happening. I mean, I just spoke to a governance expert, and he was saying that, look, it looks as if what the party chairman said, that money is taking over the NDC party, might be true. What's your reaction to that?
Well, that's the thinking of the governance expert. I am not a governance expert. I am NDC Kokwago, seeking to be elected one of the deputy general secretaries of the party, and I'll speak to that. Let the government experts or the governance experts speak to the issues that they want to speak to.
All right. So, how do you fancy your chances as a deputy secretary?
Well, it's all about dedication, loyalty, hard work, commitment, a track record that humbly stands tall, and so the delegates know what it is that I've done in the past, supporting the NDC, especially when we went into position in 2001, all the hard work, the sacrifice, supporting President Mills, or then candidate Mills, and then the fact that I protected and projected him. I have no regrets working for President Mills, and today the delegates are saying that we appreciate the work that you did for President Mills and the NDC, and it's time for us to reward you with our thumbs, and that is what they intend to do tomorrow, and I'm very grateful to them and humbled by the kind of warmth that engulfed all my visits to the regions.
All right, I'll just ask you a very personal question. You can decide to ignore it. I mean, you keep mentioning President Mills, but it looks as if the leader of the NDC is John Dramani Mahama, and you said nothing about him. People are doing a lot of conjecture. Are you working for President Mahama?
Certainly. The more reason why I'm coming into this thing, so that whatever service that I rendered President Mills, we can then support President Mahama. He's our leader. We have no other leader. So that we can protect the election victory in 2016. There is no reason to run away from President Mills. He is my mentor, he's my father and everything. Gave me the opportunity, the NDC gave me the opportunity. I can't stop mentioning him. But today President Mahama is our leader. And I'm coming in to help support the NDC, build a stronger NDC, so we support government and help President Mahama to run over the 2016 hurdle. So President Mahama is the leader today. No two ways about that. But my association with President Mills, nobody can run away from that.
How do you react to this, that the NDC is now not looking at the grassroots, because the grassroots are disenchanted with the NDC. They are getting more agitated. They say the NDC is not looking at their welfare. What would your reaction be? Are you moving away from your core mandate as a social democratic party and looking at other things, or it's the same? I mean, they are just making unnecessary...
No. The grassroots, or whatever, the base of the party has very legitimate concerns and legitimate issues. The more reason why some of us are deciding to step in and bring our experience to bear.
Right, that's a very long interview. We'll bring you the full interview subsequently when we're doing major discussions for tomorrow's Congress. But Ni also spoke to Jacob Atule Adongo, who is a blind person contesting for the position of propaganda secretary.
It is the base that defends the...
All right, so I'm here with Jacob, who is standing for Jacob Adongo, who is standing for the Deputy Propaganda Secretary. I mean, he's visually impaired, but he loves the NDC and is standing for office. I would just want to ask him how, if elected, he will be able to take care of his office. You're welcome to join us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your opportunity.
Jacob, you are running for the Deputy Propaganda Secretary.
Definitely.
What do you want to propagate?
I think that the NDC as a government has achieved a lot. We've done very well with the economy in every sector available to my memory. But the problem is that our communicators, both government and the party level, have gone to sleep on the job, and they have not been able to propagate very well what we have done. If you would remember, statistically, when the MPP were leaving office in 2018, inflation stood at 18%. The 2000 elections, MPP kept drumming that we had skyrocketing inflation numbers. They were going to bring down inflation. They struggled for and could not achieve single inflation. We were able to achieve single inflation for 36 good months. GDP stood at 5.6% at the time MPP were leaving office averagely. The NDC for the past years have averagely achieved 7% GDP. We took an economy of 23 billion and made it up to 93 billion as I speak to you today. The MPP, sold Westel, they sold Ghana Telecom, they sold a lot of strategic state lands to be able to even finance their budgets. As of 2006, upon exiting HIPIC with a lot of funding. Then again, if you look at the NDC as a political party currently in government, 93% of our funding is internally generated. The MPP had 50% of its budget almost funded by foreign donors. We have been able to grow the economy, yet our communicators have gone to sleep. We've not been able to propagate what we have done to electorates. That is why, day in, day out, we have had unfriendly chastisements from the MPP and its media outlets trying to paint government wrongly. Atuli Adongo Jacob brings on board a communication structure that will allow that at least there is a network, all propaganda machinery, all propaganda secretaries, all communicators are hooked on an internet facility that would allow at the click of the bottom, information is spread throughout so that there can be coherency. As of now, you realize that even our communication machinery, there's no coherency. You see the minister saying this, tomorrow the DC is saying that, the communicator is saying that. There is no coherency. The center seems to be broken. And that is what Adongo.
How do you fix the center, Mr. Adongo?
I have just told you that you need to bring about coherency in the system.
How do you make the system coherent?
I just told you that.
You need to.
I just told you that. I just told you that. I just told you that in this.
How do you do it?
Yes, I just told you that in this ICT world,
yeah,
you need to have a central system of information where you click all your communicators into that system. You feed the system, but at a click of a button, the issues on board for discussion is brought to the fore of all our communicators.
Right. I wish Mr. Adongo very well. He's visually impaired and yet he's working to contest for the position of Propaganda Secretary. Ni Kote Jani is joining us on the telephone now. Ni, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Now, you, in speaking to the various people you spoke to Koko Anyidoho and you spoke to Mr. Adongo as well. We're yet to play your interview with David Agbe, but what impressions do you get speaking to these contestants? Did you get the feeling that they had the message to make them viable candidates for tomorrow?
I think so. I mean, for somebody like David Jacob Adongo, I was so thrilled. I mean, he wants to be the propaganda secretary. He's visually impaired. He speaks impeccable English. And he looks as if he doesn't have the funds, but he's making every minute count before tomorrow. This is a game changer for him. For me, I think this is a sign this is one of the positive signs we are seeing in our politics, and we need to highlight it. Talking to Kofi Anyidoho, I got the impression that for him, he would want to come back and re-energize the grassroots of the party. He talked about Professor Mills. He talked about how they won previous elections with Professor Mills, how they organize, how they place priority on the grassroots. And all of this is what, you get from people contesting now, that the party is losing touch of the people who brought him into power. They are social democrats, and they need, as a matter of urgency, to start organizing the base of the party, which is in turmoil as we speak.
Right, so Oni, did you get the impression from Koko Anyidoho in particular that he was a likable person in the party? Because for me, where I stand, and perhaps I'm sure that there are many neutral observers like myself who see Koko as more inclined to the Mills faction and would like to take advantage of his popularity with the Mills faction to perhaps garner some votes for himself. Do you feel that this will work for him?
I think so. There are of course some people who believe that the party is losing, the male factor is losing its grip on the party. But I speaking to a delegate from the ground and unofficial chats and all that, I realized that there was one thing that is felt Dr. Samuel's heart, and it is trying to stay away from the NDC. So they would want to use this platform and put some male supporters in front, so that they bring that spirit, they energize and bring that spirit back. Of course, who made a mistake. They said, yes, Mama is the leader of the party, but Mills is like a father to me. That speaks volumes. So he will not openly admit that he's an out-and-out Mills person. He will not openly admit that he didn't really get any position in the current Mama administration. But you get this feeling that it's coming to be the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, means that he wants to work his way back to the top and make sure that what they propagated with Asano is further enhanced and stretched.
Right. So, Ni, I'll pause you briefly and go and listen to your interview with David Agbe, and then I'll return to you and we'll do a quick snap analysis of what the situation is on the ground ahead of tomorrow.
Okay.
So it's still the election warehouse, and we have right now at the venue David Agbe, a governance expert, and one active, proceedings so far, and how has it seen the euphoria since he lives in Kumasi and all that? David, you are welcome to our election warehouse.
Yeah, thank you so much. You are welcome to Kumasi.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So what can you say about the euphoria in Kumasi? The NDC is having the big congress in Kumasi today. What would you say about it?
Yes, I think that the euphoria is so far good. When you come to Kumasi Sports Stadium, you feel the presence of NDC in Ashanti region, and generally in Kumasi, you feel the presence of NDC. When you go around all the hotels, the hotels are booked so far. It tells you that the expectation is so high, and people are also making money in respect of the Congress so far. So I should say that the euphoria is good for now, but we need to ensure that the media actually promote the political activity as we see it now. It looks as if the organization is not all that good, in a sense that most of the media houses that I've interacted with, you look as if the accreditation did not receive the accreditation now. And so I should think that the leaders of the party or the organizers of the party need to ensure that all the media houses do have the accreditation, because without the media, you will not be able to carry your information forward. So the presence of the media is so important, and the organizers of the party need to ensure that every media house, have its own accreditation, so that they will be able to project the party as we all, want it. Because we, as governance institution, we believe that when you have a strong political party, that is where they will try as much as possible to build democracy. A democracy without a strong political party, you do not have, a good democracy. So anything that will add to democracy is where we belong to, and we need to ensure that all the political parties, is well resourced. They have the human capacity, they have the material capacity to be able to promote democracy. And to be able to promote it, you need to ensure that your political party is able to organize its event properly, try to let the media appreciate the fact that they are a strong force to be reckoned with. Because if you are a political party and you do not have the media, behind you, your message will never be carried across. So it is much important that the political parties, factor in to ensure that all the time they have the media behind them. And I think that will be able to promote the image of the party rather than what we are seeing now. And it's not good, but we believe that maybe by the close of the day, all the media houses will get the accreditation so that the event will carry on successfully.
Right, thanks very much. Ni, thanks for your patience on the telephone. We wanted to give the audience some fair understanding of the kinds of conversations that you had with David Agbe. I noticed that you were trying to explore from him whether he feels that the structures the NDC has put in place for tomorrow's Congress is commendable. Now, what else did you feel that he brought out strongly in your interview with him?
I think he made a point that you need the old guy, the old guard. I mean, he was talking about community, him being an educationist, and the fact that he has a wealth of tons of experience when it comes to organizing party or chairing such a party like the NDC. He also spoke about the fact that Abdullah has some issues with being incarcerated some time back and all that. So he was trying to assess the chances candidate by candidate. For him, he said he would have gone for someone like Potofi because he noticed that Potofi is using a lot of money and the grassroots is hungry. So they would fall for the money and perhaps that will make Potofi win. He also about Kudiaya, who was the former general secretary, and then that people complain about him that he took the NDC to a position, and that card is going to be played out in coming election. So, I mean, he was trying to be analytical and draw us back to what has transpired in the past and how it will play a certain role in the election. But I also have Nana Yabefo of our sister station. I don't have friend with me, and I would want to go to her and ask her, I mean, what has her impression been so far?
Right.
And what can she report on as we speak now?
Right, that's fine. I would like to speak to her briefly because we just have about a minute to finish.
So I guess a little bit noisy. So Nalaya is here right now, and I want her to tell you some of her observations from the plant side of the so,
right, that's fine. Nalaya. Yeah, Nalaya.
Down to the
that's right. So tell me, I mean, I know that this is a very, very busy weekend for you. I mean, from where you have been going, I've noticed that you've done a couple of interviews as well. What are your impressions of, one, the preparations and the readiness of the individual candidates that are contesting?
Well, as we got here in the afternoon from the airport, we saw some banners, posters at the roundabout there. Through to Swami, we saw them coming to the stadium. We realized that the posters were all over the place. And then as we were here, we saw some of the delegates who are, and then those who are vying for positions coming in with delegates or coming in with supporters. Some coming in with drums and all that. So the others came in with some with the crowd. And then as they came in with the crowd, if you see the crowd, you can determine that yes, he's a winner.
That's right. He should be winning by now.
Already. Yeah, but as for who would say, you were saying that most of the people who follow you are really not delegates because those who came have traveled long distances and would be tired and would be their hotels. Because even finding hotels here is another problem. Some of them have scattered. Once you Tamale, don't realize that most of the places, like when you go to a hotel, you realize that maybe constituency A or B, they are gathered at one position or one place. Here it's not like that.
Right.
So doing some of our movements would be very difficult in the evening as they usually do in the night.
I'm grateful for the quick narrative. I'm afraid that's where we have to finish our conversation. So we'll speak to you again, and I wish you well. So Ni, keep safe, and then we'll get back to you, and I'm sure that over the weekend we'll do a fantastic job for our audiences. Thank you very much, Ni.
But before we go, I think the security is coming to take over. So all media people are asked to leave the stadium now.
Right.
For security to take over.
Right, Ni. Thank you very much. We'll be following it up, Ni. I'm afraid that we'll have to run. We'll be following the conversation later on from now till the Congress results start coming in. My name is Stephen Enti, and that's where we'll draw the curtains. Up next is the interactive segment. Do stay.